Hey guys, thanks for joining again. This week, we were finally able to do some of the things that I was previously mentioning to you guys before about some of the different projects that we want to get accomplished for as a part of our rehab team. So Monday, we were able to go out to Homa Hills Health Centre to do one of our mobile rehab clinics. So Homa Hills is about 28 kilometers from where we're at. And it may not seem very far, but because of the road conditions, because pretty much you have like pavement for about maybe a half to three quarters of the way there, but then the last stretch of it is just all dirt road and it's really in bad condition. So it takes a while to get there. And we coordinated with the hospital, so they were able to give us some transportation by using one of their hospital trucks. Which was kind of interesting in of itself because there was no seats. We just had to sit on the bench, and it kind of felt like it was one of those prison buses. But it was an interesting experience getting there, and the roads were very bumpy. But we made it there. It took us about an hour, and once we got there, we arrived around a little before 10 o'clock. And the plan was that we were going to primarily see patients under 18, so pretty much focusing on pediatrics. Now, um, before this, before Monday, it took a couple months just to get everything planned out. So I kind of mentioned that like things take longer to get done here in Kenya. And so part of the whole planning process to do this mobile clinic was that we had to actually work with community health volunteers. And so they kind of went, these community volunteers are kind of a little bit more of the elders of their different villages and communities. So we engaged with them. We spoke with them and we kind of shared our vision for this clinic and seeing kind of different type of patients, kind of different conditions and things that we were looking for. So they went out to their communities and their villages and they pretty much kind of surveyed their um, neighbors and friends and in their village itself about different people that may benefit from rehab services. So based on that information, we were expecting around 50 patients to see, and we wanted to kind of keep it smaller because we want to at least provide good quality of care and see kind of the most vulnerable being, young children. And so that was kind of our expectation going there. Once we arrived, we realized things change. So once we got there, we got settled down, we kind of met the team there, and we ended up seeing around 130 patients in the clinic, and primarily it was majority of adults and geriatric age. So it was okay. We just had to adjust a little bit. So um, there was not a lot of space to do treatment and assessments. And so we had our primary occupational therapist who would see the pediatric patients, and they kind of set up some mats on the ground and they just worked with what they had, did some assessments, kind of a quick screen, and then provide a lot of education and training and some treatment ideas for the parents or guardians. And so there were three OTs, and so they were able to see all the pediatric patients. And then myself and the other physiotherapists, we ended up taking on the adults. And we had a little bit of an office space where we can do some assessments and things. And um, I honestly wasn't planning on doing a whole lot of treatment because I was kind of helping coordinate. And then since we expected to do most pediatrics, I'm not very experienced with seeing pediatrics. But we just kind of found some space in this little almost closet space for me, set up a little trimming table, and then we just started seeing patients. Our expectation was to stay there around 2 o'clock and kind of wrap things up because again, we were expecting 50 patients. But once it was getting that time frame, we still had, over 60 patients to see. So what myself and the other physiotherapists ended up doing was that we just kind of gathered everyone together that was remaining, and then it ended up being a lot more, chronic issues, more degenerative, like arthritic type of issues with like back pain and knee pain related to like arthritis more so. And so we ended up grouping all the remaining patients into like a back pain and like lower extremity or like knee pain primarily. And we split them up, and then we ended up just kind of sharing and discussing with these group of patients just education and training, what arthritis is, things they can do to manage their symptoms, showing them a few exercises they can kind of do. And so we kind of did like a group therapy session. So all in all, it was a good experience. It was the first time we did it as a rehab team, so it was a good experience. Obviously, there's things to learn from, but like overall, I think it was a good experience, not only for our team but for the community there, just because they don't normally have an opportunity to receive, physiotherapy or occupational therapy services. So it was a good just outreach ministry for us to be there and kind of represent the hospital too, just to be able to provide a service without demanding a fee and things like that. So I think it was good opportunity just to kind of get some awareness with the hospital as well too, and kind of be able to support the community there. So it was a good experience, and we were able to enjoy our time there as a team. And then pretty much on the way back, we were able to actually stop by the Lake Victoria, and just kind of see a little bit of the fishing community. We actually ended up, some of our staff, they want fresh fish, and you can get them pretty cheap out there, talking directly to the fishermen. So we were out there for some time, and we ended up watching the fishermen bring in their like catch. And so they have these huge, huge nets, and it's like, the best way to describe it is kind of like how I would imagine how people would fish back in like Bible times. And so they had these huge lines, and they would like pull them in from like, I don't know, 100 meters out, 150 meters out. They would lay these huge nets with boats, and then have these huge lines, and then from the shore they would pull them in. And it's just like all manpower. So there's just a bunch of people just pulling these ropes in, and then they gather all the fish in, and then they have this catch. And so our staff, were really wanting to get fresh fish, so they were able to stop by, get some fish for them, witness this whole fishing event while we were there, and then make it back home. So it was a good experience, and we hope to do more of these clinics, whether it be in Homa Hills again or maybe other communities surrounding our hospital as well too. So we're hoping to plan that out as well too. So it wasn't too bad in terms of cost wise to do these clinics. Primarily, you're paying for like the petrol or the fuel to take the hospital truck out to these communities. We had to pay for some like photocopies to make sure we had some assessments and copies and stuff like that for the patients that we see. And then we just need to make sure we have some like food and like water, since we're there for the whole day. So we end up for that event, we probably would spend around like 8 to 9 thousand shillings. It just depends on the fuel, how much fuel we actually end up spending. But although not too bad of an expense to be able to do this activity. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for support. I know some of you have been able to support like the rehab department specifically, and we've gotten some donations to support our department in the hospital. And so, some of the funds that we were able to receive, those donations, we were able to use that for like these type of activities. So, we appreciate it. Thank you for your support, because obviously, if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do stuff like this for the community here. So, thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.